tell us a little bit about yourself?
Tony Reiss. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. PDJ number's 47136, 1003 rated. Made the trip this weekend. Yep, drove down. It was 10.5 hours. Stopped and played Paul Macbeth's course, New London, which was pretty awesome. And then came here and practiced on Friday.
Sweet. So, what'd you think of Paul's course?
Oh man, it's the front nine's not very lefty friendly, but it's a great track, man. It really makes you throw shots through the woods.
Well, it sounds like it's working out for you making the trip. You got lead card.
Yeah.
What's your plan out here to finish it up?
Just got to clean up a couple holes from yesterday. Found kind of was in a lull in the back nine. There was like 4 or 5 holes I just parred. You can't really par out here. So looking to shoot a double-digit round, and I think that'll at least keep me in the hunt. We'll see.
So Ohio, is it anything like out here? I mean, we got these super technical wooded courses.
Man. There's nothing like this in Ohio. I mean, there's stuff where we got fairways and stuff, but not like rough like it is out here. So it's important to keep it on the fairways out here.
But it's not scaring you off, huh?
No, I actually enjoy it. A lot of rock shots out here. So.
Are you going back and telling your buddies about your war stories in these woods?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm gonna try to convince them to come next year because it's awesome.
Well, hey, wish you the best of luck out here, and I hope you have fun, and yeah, go out and shoot them down.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, here with Adam Durham. Just want to catch up with you after having that hot round yesterday. Did you hear it was a course record?
I did this morning. I think Phil told me this morning because like the new pin locations and stuff, it is a course record. So that's pretty cool. Well, it's like one of my favorite courses. So a short course record at Azalea Pro is pretty badass.
so you're familiar with it? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Snow Camp, North Carolina. I lived in Greenville for a few years. I went to ECU, played all the East Coast courses around here. But yeah, this is probably my top 10. Just fun to play.
So familiar with West Meadowbrook, but any other courses around there you'd recommend people checking out?
Definitely ECU North Campus. It's part of ECU. They keep it like pristine. It looks like a golf course if you're familiar with golf. And then Farmville is the disc golf park one. It's about 30 minutes away from Greenville, but it's really fun. They play it in Down East Players Cup as well.
You're 1 stroke away from the lead here. What's your plan to get past this guy?
Oh, I just plan on playing well. It's gonna be a fun car. We have me, Blake, and Matt. We're all good buddies and stuff. It'll be fun.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Sublime Flights coverage of the 2022 Azalea. We're playing this at Castle Hayne. Myself, Philip Bartholomew, and my good friend Brian Schweberger is going to be doing the commentary. Brian, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. This is the 20th Azalea Tournament. That is wild. It is almost as old as I am.
You're still a pup.
Yeah. All right. We've got Blake Pullen, Adam Durham, Tony Reiss, and Matt Thompson. A bunch of young players. And I'm not sure how old Tony is, but he looks young enough to be young. Hole 1, 368 feet. What do you throw on this one?
I throw a leopard 3 here.
And I would say I'm throwing a similar speed as well, probably like an Undertaker, so a 7 to 9 speed. Looks like Blake's doing something similar. Really looking to move something from...
Great skip.
Oh, wow, yes.
Well inside the circle.
Adam Durham, young 20-year-old, 22 I think to be exact, plays down at ECU but from Burlington, North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Adam's name around a lot. I just never met him, so that's another great drive, just about circle's edge.
Yes, lots of power and very smooth. It has a really nice spin. Here's Tony. This is the first drive I've ever seen from Tony.
It's a bit of like an air bounce style throw there.
Yeah, looks to be going down the middle. Out here at Castle Hayne, you're going to hit a couple trees. It's almost inevitable. Matt Thompson, another player out of Burlington, North Carolina. Seems to be a good place to come from if you're a disc golfer.
Didn't you go to Chapel Hill?
I do not think that he may have gone to a year of college, and then he decided he wanted to play some disc golf for a living. I think that's when COVID started to happen, and he took some time off and really fell in love with the sport. As you'll see here, Matt's a great putter. I think pretty much everyone on this card is an extremely high-level putter, especially Blake Poland. he has told me about his putting routine in the past. I'm not sure if he still does this, but in the few thousands of putts a week, which is a lot.
Insane.
That is a lot. What he said was when he putts 2,000 to 3,000 times a week, the basket just seems a little bit bigger. So
That's about 900 more than I do.
yeah, that's about 2,000 more than I do. And Blake in for an excellent birdie on hole 1. A very difficult, challenging par 3 to start off with. That's an unfortunate birdogie, yeah, like I like to call it.
That was a hard putt that close.
You know, Tony made it happen, but I'd be careful on these baskets out here. They're a little bit old. Looks like Blake's going to extend his lead a little bit.
This is relatively short hole for this course. I don't feel maybe
Yeah, 268 feet, right in front of the basket. There's a bunch of roots that he seems to be skipping and bumping over. You'd love to play it a little far, a little deep right. Even if you go past that retaining wall, it's not too bad. Uphill putt from inside the circle. Surely scary to be putting downhill at that basket.
That almost took the line without you. I like to go inside left of those middle trees.
Yes, I think that is also a really good line.
Because there is OB down the whole right side, so
There
I try
it
to
is.
stay away from it.
Yeah, yep. Now you see the contrasting style between me and Schwebby. Aggressive and young and old and wise. Not too old.
I'll never be old.
But he still beats me too much, so he can't be that old. Alright, Matt Thompson, how far do you think this is? About 45 feet?
Yeah, that's definitely jump putt range. And he did, and he messed up. And that's still not that far away, even though he went over the top.
And that's that death putt that feels like that they're all having when you come up a little bit short.
Looks like you got work in the background. I think I hear some hot dog.
Oh my goodness. And Blake's super close. I mean, it's hard to run that putt really hard, confidently, especially with that drop off behind it. Tony looks to have a nice spin putt as well.
That looked really weird coming out of his hand.
Matt Thompson has an interesting putt. Looks to be a bunch of pars on that hole, which is very interesting to be possibly the easiest hole in the course.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we've got hole 3 here. 341 feet. This is an awkward hole, to say the least.
Yeah, you have to play, I would say, an understable fairway driver, and hopefully you miss the tree that's about 80 feet from the basket that's in the middle of the fairway. Well, you have to miss that one. too,
Yeah. Yeah, you just want to get around that very first tree you see in the middle, and then almost the tree right behind that you're going left of. So almost sawing it off a little bit like Matt does here.
And that's going to get him a putt.
That is an incredible drive. It's very, very easy to go a little too long right or a little too short left.
Have I just not been paying attention to, is he lefty?
I believe, and I may have been doing the same thing you're doing, but I think he's righty backhand lefty for him.
He's one of those.
He's one of those, and he putts right-handed, I think.
I know
Now that you said that,
I know
I'm
like
kinda
8 or 9
confused.
players that are just like that.
Mudden, shout out to you, my brother. Mudden is a MP40 player in North Carolina that has a very unique style and unique bag with all
And there's that
orange
tree in the
tips.
middle of the fairway, 80 feet. That's
And that was a lefty backhand, so we
It was.
just weren't paying attention. Maybe he can do all of it. I don't know. We're gonna find out here in the next few holes. Adam having a tough time
he's
giving that a
putting
bid.
lefty. He is left-handed.
For most of the people in the world, we're right-handed, so when we see a lefty, you know, we just try to ignore it for as long as we can. And there, Blake had the same tree kind of in the way that Matt had, except Matt had about, well, excuse me, Adam had about twice the distance there.
Matt taking strokes on the card.
That is a hole that you'll most likely be able to do that on. I think 1 out of 3 birdies here is pretty common. If you get 2 people birdieing this hole, you're doing pretty well. Alright, looks like Matt's going to be coming back a little bit, tying the lead up here, which is awesome.
Yep, 2-stroke swing. Really critical tee shot right here.
Yeah, this gap, it looks bigger on the camera here. Now, when you're in person, it feels about 5 feet wide.
Yep.
And that just belayed it.
Absolutely. Drifting something from left to right will work. Something dead straight is honestly perfect. And you can see he put himself down there within 100 feet of the basket, which is an incredible shot. I think Adam's doing what a lot of people do here that have a proficient forehand.
Yeah.
Making the gap a little easier while you face forward and throw at it. Blake doing the same. Blake has a superb forehand. He has tons of distance and
Saw that off too.
very compact. And I think that's the miss forehand, is kind of to push it a little bit too far right. You can still get up and down. Another left-handed drive. Incredible that he can do that with that hand.
Wow, it's parked on the short position.
Yeah, that's a long drive just to there, and he's got tricky but shorter upshot than the rest of them.
It's a long tomahawk.
I like to think is Adam Durham as a jack of all trades. Maybe not the best example of his tomahawk skills, but very proficient at every style of throw. Very dedicated young guy, and I think if he takes it serious and really wants it, he can go out and play on the Pro Tour very easily.
Does he have
If not, I know a guy that can teach him. And he gets up there on the putting green. That should be good work for him. Blake, and you can see what I'm saying is it's not the longest upshot to get to the basket from here, just tricky.
Yeah.
Bleeding off right early. So he gets up there on the putting green as well.
Yeah, I think so many people end up to the right side of this fairway. There's a gap has been created just by so many people having
The
to
foot
go
traffic
down that way.
is definitely made a huge gap over there. Matt gets up there real nicely, and that is a tricky little upshot Tony had over in those trees near the short pin.
That's a great birdie save, though.
Kind of finding out why he's on the lead guard.
This is the second part.
Yeah, you're right. And that's going to be a bogey. Blake's got about half the distance that Adam had. And once Blake starts to get warmed up, I think it's going to be hard to catch that guy.
I agree. He's played well the last year and a half.
Absolutely. It's really, he actually had a switch in, a little bit of change in pace in his life, and I think stopped working at such a serious full-time job and wanted to take disc golf more seriously. So you can see his skills really improving when he's putting their work. I'd say that's probably the easiest hole on the course, showing with all of those birdies. We've got hole 4 here.
Yeah, Matt.
Not a fan of these tee pads with the rubber mats.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. Not a huge fan either.
Oh, and we're playing the new pin over to the right.
Yes, I believe that this will be, is it really 419 feet?
No, it is not. It's almost the same distance as the original pin.
Okay, that makes more sense. It really only plays like 320, I think. It's a little bit uphill. Maybe it plays a little further.
Yeah, I got it with a mid-range.
Yep, I was throwing a buzz at it, so I think it's within the 300-foot wheelhouse. It is a tricky gap, though, but I do like it better than the short pin location here because it's just one long turnover rather than a crazy Anheuser flex that the other pin calls for.
I think they need to, for this new pin placement, I think 1 or 2 trees needs to be cut out of the gap that goes to the basket.
Agreed.
It's for a blind hole, you need a more reasonable gap to throw into.
Absolutely, and it's tight when you get up onto the green as well. And I don't mind a tightly guarded green as long as you have an initial gap that you can hit and access that green with. Adam there, awesome facial expression. Looks like me on the disc golf course.
Yeah,
Very
dude,
serious.
great shot.
Great recovery shot right there.
And he's, you know, filling in those shoes that I laid for him about how he's a jack of all trades, showing you the forehand roller. Tony, over in some trees, doesn't look like it should be too bad. Probably got up a good ways. Only about 100 feet to the basket for him.
Great up shot. Don't hit your head.
Like you're sailing it a little high, but it wasn't short. You know, that's how we make it. And Matt, I think he's looking to pick one up here.
Yeah, Matt.
Such a good disc golfer.
You
Matt
like do
Thompson.
something different every time.
Probably right around circle's edge, if not a little bit outside.
I'd agree with you.
Solid putt.
All right, let's talk about this. I've heard a rumor that the Disc Golf Pro Tour may want to extend the Circle 1 putts to 45 feet just for Pro Tour events. Thoughts?
60 feet.
Sweet. I will take that.
I think 60 feet is better. Just put it at 20 meters, and then I don't mind them jump putting so much. Otherwise, leave it where it's at and go to bullseye style baskets.
Yes. I think I'd rather have the big basket still. Matt Thompson, he's going to take a one-stroke lead on Blake Pullen. This is shaping up to be a really good round of disc golf, watching these guys play. Two exceptional North Carolina disc golfers.
That's a great drive on this hole.
Yes, absolutely. We've got hole 5. Nice.
That's hole 6.
This is hole 6. See, that's the problem. I wasn't paying attention. Hole number 6, 505 feet. You're looking to get about 350 feet off the tee, flip something up, finish a little bit left, and that'll leave you either hyzer or flex anhyzer or flick shot if you're a backhander. To access the green, I think you'll see a few of these guys throw some forehands into the green.
And you don't even have to throw that one.
You don't have
As long
to.
as you get it through that secondary gap up there, you have a nice, smooth putter approach hyzer right to the basket. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not, if you want to have an easier upshot, I agree. Go with the flip up fairway driver, which is what I do.
Sure.
Because I just want to be a little bit further down there so I have a more realistic chance to get the birdie.
Adam is really loving the forehand roller right now. And so
you
am I.
roll right back into the woods. That's the penalty of trying to.
Yes, especially when you don't want to finish left. But I think he might be able to stick a leg out there and get around the corner. We'll see. This is going to be a very difficult shot for Tony.
He's going up high with a big turn.
And I love how he played his lie correctly.
Yes,
the
he did.
basket was kind of at a 45-degree angle to his left, so he planted his foot perfectly. Just for all the viewers at home, just so they can understand. Another forehand roller?
No, that was a thumber.
No.
That
was
a
it
thumber.
really?
Yeah, that was a thumber. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice. That was a very well done thumber too.
Little
Slanted very soft.
Little staller.
Now with the smooth backhand approach, this is kind of where I was talking about. You get that 350-foot range, gets you up there into a, probably 180 foot to the basket.
Now next year we might be playing a new basket placement that's going to be down and to the right of the pond.
Par
I
5?
think it should still be a par 4 because that'll make you required to throw Matt's tee shot the way he just did,
Yes.
and have a really nice chance to possibly get a birdie on.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I like that shot from Tony as well. That was nice, smooth backhand out of the woods.
I thought after you said it, but first
Blake's striping him in. He's getting warmed up. I don't think you're going to be able to stop this guy once he gets going, seriously. He practices way too much. Blake, get a life, man. Adam cleaning up, no problem. Just a bunch of tap-ins for these guys. And Matt is a momentum player. When he has the momentum going his way, he is extremely hard to reel back in. Still one stroke ahead. Moving into hole 7. 355 foot. A lot of guys are going to be looking to throw forehand. Matt is another versatile guy. I think he loves his backhand more than anything. So I think he's going to be cranking a mid-range down there.
And also, I think
Could be an origin.
the wrong sidearm shot, you could end up with the way the terrain slopes. You could end up skipping down into the creek
Yes.
And you're not getting your disc back out of that creek. That water is so black and murky.
Oh, the black.
Same body your disc.
And it's about 2 feet deep, 3 feet deep at some spots in a foot-wide creek. It's interesting.
Yeah,
Blake going with his backhand here. It's always surprising to me to see these great forehand players throwing backhand, but
Blake doesn't have a disc sponsor, does he?
Blake is unsponsored, and that is kind of unacceptable.
I'm guessing that was probably like a Roadrunner or a Sidewinder then. I mean, it's
Yes.
the way that he highs it, flipped it, and it
Absolutely.
kept turning. That's what I throw on this one. I throw the Roadrunner or the Sidewinder based on what the wind's.
See, I go forehand here and try to throw something to flip up a little straight, and then I'll take the skip down there.
Oh, that's not the way.
I'm just a little bit early. He's got to shake this off. You can kind of see from the way he's walking off the tee pads, he's not really into it just yet. This is the mental struggle of professional disc golf, because you've got these other two guys that are just absolutely piping it. And you got to learn how to either keep up or just, move on even if you're not playing your best that day.
Absolutely.
Matt, conservative bid, obviously downhill here. You don't want to have a roll away. I don't think Adam's going to have a very conservative bid here. I think
This is for bogey.
Yes, this is going to be a hard run. Adam, super spin putter.
Hopefully he hits metal.
Yeah, great putt. And like I
Good,
said,
son. Great bogey save.
that was an excellent putt. A scary putt at that.
Oh, sit.
It's hard to tell how far that was, but I'd have to think it was inside the circle, definitely.
That was a great drive right there from Blake.
Yeah, I do wonder what he threw there, because it definitely is a driver.
Because he didn't throw it that hard, he just threw it nice and smooth, and he got a lot of glide and carry out of it.
Yeah, and Matt going with the mid-range came up a little short. Unfortunately, couldn't convert the putt. Blake's going to reel him back in at 20 under par. They've got a sizable lead, 5 strokes on Tony and even more on Adam. So I think it's not necessarily a 2-horse race yet, but it's shaping up to be that if these guys keep birdieing the way they are. We have got hole 8. This tee shot here is very, very difficult. Once again, another shot that you have to saw off really far to the left, right out of your hand. You've got the Black Creek on the right, and I don't think, someone said this to me, it's impossible to go too far left. And I will say I put it in perfect position every time on this hole, and I think I averaged 1 over par. So, this is why I was not on the lead card, and these guys are. I think the lefty backhand works even better than a righty backhand on this hole. To be able to get the disc
I
left.
agree. I mean, I would love to be a lefty throw back on this.
Oh, no.
That's bad.
That's the black water we're talking about.
It's sad.
So right there you can kind of see where the creek shapes around Adam here. This is not where you want to be. Adam said I know how to throw a forehand roller. Didn't know if you guys knew.
Yeah, on this hole I threw a flippy mid-range off a shark, and I ended up right there, just right over where Matt was just throwing his shot from every time.
Me as well. And so I threw a Comet off the tee. That steep hyzer kind of let it drift a little bit left, and then I had like a Undertaker on the way in every time, and I'd either throw it too early or too late, trying to push for maybe too much.
Mm-hmm.
I like what Blake does here. He's, although probably could get it to the green, is getting it to the green almost. He's not pushing the green, I don't think,
Yeah, he wasn't.
necessarily.
He was definitely not trying to get to the green.
But he will have very easy upshot and a possible look at the 3, and possibly the only 3 on the whole weekend.
I have 3 this in twice the tournament play, and you have to get a drive that was better than where Blake was, and still throw a 400-foot late turnover to have a chance of getting put on.
And that says a lot, since Schwebe's played all 20 of these Azaleas,
No,
you know.
I have not.
I'm just kidding. No, but Schweb has played, how many Azaleas have you? It's got to be at least 10.
I want to say 14.
Yes, that's incredible. This might have been my second.
Yeah.
I never get down. I had trouble signing up for this tournament in the past. And it's just, I always forgot to sign up for it for some reason. And I didn't know how good the course was until I played it one time. And then I was like, okay, now I definitely need to come back.
It's a hidden gem on the East Coast.
And oh, there you go. Blake decided that he was going to lay that up very aggressively. Almost makes it. Let's see if Adam can keep this train rolling with the long putts. When Adam dials in his anywhere from, I'll say, 70 to 40 foot range, it starts to get scary. I could say the same for Matt. and Matt's really the putter, you know, once he gets around 50 feet, he's trying a little harder, I think, than Adam is, especially in the contrasting styles that they have, but Matt is so consistent inside the circle.
Par save from where his tee shot is.
Absolutely. This hole makes you feel good when you get a par, but it makes you feel bad when you get a par, depending on where you land in the fairway.
Yes, depending on your tee shot. Absolutely.
And Matt and Blake are really rolling right now. I think it's safe to say that they're going to be playing for first and second place, unless I come from fourth card really crazily.
Yeah, because the back nine used to be the tougher nine. Now it's the easier nine with the hole changes on this course.
Yep, and we've got hole 9. We're playing to the further pin position, technically.
Yep.
Not too much further than the original pin, or the short pin. Looks like Matt here is playing almost for the short pin.
But it's only 20-foot difference, so you play
Right.
for the short pin park job and you have a 20-foot putt, so that's a good play, really.
And he's probably got about 60 feet to the pin. It's just difficult to get it that far right without pushing it too far.
Wow,
straight.
he got up by the bridge. That's so far out there.
He's deep in the basket. Man, that is crazy. And here's a really difficult way to get it all the way right, but I think if anybody could, it would be Adam. And that looks amazing.
Yep, sign up to get out there.
Yep, and he's going to be the closest to the pin. Well, nope, maybe not.
Tony needs one to get this thing going. There we go.
There you go. That'll work. All right, same with Adam. It would be great for Adam to start knocking down some birdies here and getting the train rolling. Such a good player. There you go. We'll say that, you know, Adam didn't necessarily shoot 20 under at UNC disc golf course like one of our good buddies Dan Hastings did, but he did shoot 15 under on the new 18-hole layout. Extremely impressive. And annoying when I only shoot 8 under, and it's a respectable round, and you're back by that many.
7 back after.
Yeah, 7 back after an okay round. But you know, good for Adam, and did end up taking that tournament home as well. So just an impressive player. 3 birdies. That's what you'd expect to see on hole number 9.
On the back.
Blake's taking a 1-stroke lead into the back 9. And this is where the course gets very, very demanding. I'd say if you're on your game, this course can be easy. And if you're off your game, that was a wonderful kick. It's what do they call this place? Castle
Hayne.
Castle Hayne, yes.
Because it used to be way more painful.
Oh,
Back in the day, this course was so much tighter. It gets so much casual play. It's just been beat in and beat in, so it's nowhere near as difficult.
Making this gap looking a little harder than I think it plays. It's really just a mid-range 300 feet down there on hyzer. Matt's going to do it perfect. I almost guarantee it. This is so stock for him.
I don't throw a putter on this dude.
Right, and it's really all you
that
need.
stuff that he just flew over. I just try to get anywhere near there, and it's a little 180 to 200 foot upshot.
Yes, and where Matt put it, it makes it almost too easy. Almost so easy where you want to choke up too much. So I kind of like your putter play off the tee.
Something I can throw a little bit fuller on my second shot.
Are we counting how many forehand rollers that Adam has thrown? Because he may be setting a record out here at
It's at least 7.
Castle Hayne. Yeah. It's almost averaging 1 per hole.
Yeah, and after Blake's poor tee shot, he was still kicked in the middle of the fairway, and he had a nice, looks like a basic putter shot up the middle to
Absolutely.
inside the circle.
And I want to say that Schwebe is right about how tight it could have or was, and how much nicer it is now. But if you get off the fairway, it's pain. You can kind of see. You can't even hardly see 5 feet into the woods. It's so thick.
Oh yeah, especially this early April when all the leaves are just starting to come out of the trees. It's a totally different course from the fall.
I'll have to come down and play it in the fall sometime. I might change my mind about it. Another forehand roller, please. Looks like it's a tomahawk. Yeah.
Skip in.
Great shot, dude.
Nice shot. Very nice. Got a nice routine 20-ish footer here for Blake.
With a scramble birdie.
I don't want to say anything too early, but this basket in particular, I saw more spit outs on than any other basket on the whole weekend.
These old chain stars and their rusty chains. Yeah, I think the club is raising money to get disc catchers put in.
Awesome. I will take any update on any course that has baskets that are more than 15 years old.
It was kind of an insult to Harold Duvall back when this course was put in. And one of his owners designed the course, and then they put chain stars on the course after he designed it for him.
That's horrible. All right. We have got hole 11 here. This is a very tricky hole. You don't, well, I guess you'd love to go far on your tee shot here to be able to open up and access the gap a little easier. I think it pays off to be a little more left to get down to how far this pin plays into the woods, as you'll see when they start throwing their second shots.
See, the wind is playing a little bit more of a factor on this hole, though. It always does.
Yeah, opening up right into the street. A lot of trees around it, so there's nowhere but down the road for the air to go. And it makes this hole even more tricky. Matt puts it out there right, and I think that's kind of where you want to be to access the green on your second shot.
It might almost be pinched off from the corner.
Correct, and I did face that a couple times. And there's the wind doing its thing on Adam's zone.
I throw overstable mid-range with an Anheuser release on this, throw a nice little S-curve and try and be closer to the left woods edge or in the middle of the fairway.
Let it finish.
So I can throw a hyzer upshot or flip up to try and be left side of the fairway, because there's OB down this whole right side, and there's a Medusa tree that he just passed right there.
Wow.
That's in the middle of the fairway that needs to be gone. And I keep telling the club that hopefully they'll cut that Medusa tree down and the hole would be perfect.
And that was actually, and we're looking at it, we're over here on the right side, out of the gap. I think he would rather be left. Either way, it's a difficult shot to get down there and finish far enough left to not go straight out of bounds. I think the back nine is tricky because how far you want to throw these shots versus how far they actually are, and where they put the OB is very suspect. You don't think you're there, and then you're all of a sudden 50 feet into the out of bounds. So
There's like a million trees between
great
you and the
design by a
basket right
North
now.
Carolina disc golfer.
And I think that the OB on the right side is there just so people just don't blindly just bomb a hyzer down the right side and possibly get into the next teeing area on this hole.
Oh, that's it.
Uh-oh.
See, that's a bad kick, and that very well could be out of bounds. Oh no, he's safe. Right by that bridge is where the OB starts on that right side. Oh no.
Oh no. And he shakes it off though. Matt's always got such a good attitude, and that I think allows him to make a lot of these putts when it doesn't allow it to get to him too much.
Yeah, I know.
And the flight,
You guys good with that?
He did go out of bounds on his shot.
And this is what I'm saying, it's always so tricky to even if you get down there to understand where your disc went out at. Obviously if you see where it's at, it might be easier, but the perception of distance into the gap and how far you actually are throwing is just, for this hole in particular, it's very difficult. And what a
That was a nice
really
par
good
save.
putt. Yes,
Great par
absolutely. All right. While Blake taps this in, I gotta. See,
Humanity.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that. Neither can he.
Commentator's jinx right there.
You know, I honestly, I can't believe in it, but I do now. And it totally just disrupted my whole thought process there. Oh, I remember. So after we get through this whole description, 455-foot par 5. That's a very short par 5. Specific landing zones on 2 shots here. And then maybe you can get it to the basket. Very eagle-able hole.
Yes. It has definitely been albatrossed at least twice.
And he's hitting, there's a Medusa tree on this hole as well, in the middle of the fairway, but kind of a little more fair. It sets up so that you have an outside and an inside gap. That's about perfect, it looks like.
Is.
You can see that ditch over here to the left. As long as you're close to that for your second shot, you will be able to throw a very straight shot to possibly set up an eagle. And Adam there wincing in emotional pain. That's what Blake does.
That's perfect.
He's very consistent with that shot right there. And going back to the last hole, I was talking about putting. Corey Ellis in a tournament recently had a disc fall out of the bottom of the basket, and then had to putt again. Obviously, thoughts on baskets that are malfunctioning when you have the disc resting in the cage and it's falling through the bottom. What should we do about that? Should we count that putt?
I don't think you can count it because it literally. I watched it. I mean, it literally it didn't ever come to rest. I mean, if it had come to rest, you saw the other guys putt. A couple of them putted with a disc close to where his putt fell through, and they stuck.
Well, even after Corey putted and it fell through, then he proceeded to drop the disc in the basket right back where it fell
He
through.
fell through.
Love you,
because he didn't
Corey.
watch it. Because he didn't watch it when
No,
it
he
fell through.
didn't.
Was
I don't
doing that
think
'cause
he-
he thought it was in the basket.
Correct. I don't think he actually knew that. And Nathan Queen had words to say about that and how he possibly would have played a provisional and tried to sway the tournament director at the end of the
take that when you
round.
throw
I
them.
may have done the same if I saw that.
I really wonder if it happened to anybody else during the tournament. I just haven't heard it.
Yes, if it wasn't on coverage, you have a hard time hearing about it. And I'm probably sure it did because a malfunctioning basket tends to malfunction.
It's happened to me more than twice.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
I mean-
Especially when you really make it. It wasn't a cut through or anything. Now this is the ditch down here on the left side, and it is not a fun place to be. Tony's making light work of it.
That's a great recovery shot.
Really nice.
You gotta understand how many trees he just threw through to get to where he's at. That's amazing.
Yeah, and that not where you wanted to be, but not a bad position to be in after that. I'm gonna just wait and let
That's an
Blake
eagle.
make
That's
this.
an eagle right there.
Wow. Sets himself up off the tee, not a long shot off the tee. Throws a straight shot on the second one and gives himself a 30-footer easy eagle. How come you don't do that every time?
I did. I did in the last round.
Oh,
no! That's. Oh my god, that was dead center. It was a little high. It was a little high, but it was still dead center, and it's just.
Yeah, these are the, like we said, the old rusty buckets over here. Time is not very forgiving, unless you're Brian Schweberger and you just keep getting younger as you get older, and lighter, and prettier, and more wins in disc golf. How many wins are you at now?
337.
Not even 400. What a loser.
No. That was my this past weekend down in Myrtle Beach was my 19th win of the year.
Congratulations. And Blake's up to a 3-stroke lead now. Like I said, he's been playing well. He likes this course. He's putting well. He's going to be hard to beat.
This is to the left pin.
Correct. We're playing to the left pin. We have got a hole 267 feet to the basket. Actually, no, excuse me, 272. I'm getting mixed up here, y'all. It's really, the gap's just as wide open as it could be. you just can't see it. If you throw a disc on hyzer and it's moving left through that gap, the gap's like 40 feet wide. If you throw it straight, the gap's 2 feet wide. So you have to hit your angle on this hole. I think the forehand could be a play, but I really think the backhand stable disc on hyzer is really the shot here.
And straight flying disc with a hyzer release, and let it flip up just a hair and let it glide.
Absolutely, and that's what I like about North Carolina golf. It's almost always fair if you play in good courses. It's just, you know, angle dependent. You have to be very, very controlled with how you throw your discs out here. And that's why North Carolina developed so many good players, I think, with demanding tee shots.
That's why so many of the top pros are moving to North Carolina.
That as well. You guys stay out of here. We love it. We love it down here in North Carolina. Tony's got an outside the circle look.
Nope, not at all.
Little jumper.
And this basket is actually probably a foot higher than regulation, so it's definitely plays into a factor on the play.
Yes, and it makes you feel nervous about a little bit of a cut through still, because you kind of get it a little more juice.
Yeah, any uphill angle putts on chain stars, they have a tendency to cut through even more.
Tony fixing his chains there, making sure his putt stays in. And here we go, moving on to hole 14, 330 feet. A whole 330 feet of awkwardness.
Look at Blake's pulled up a 3-stroke lead.
He is going to throw one of his favorite shots here. A nice high forehand, pushing it a little too straight.
What are y'all?
That might have been a good thing.
I could have gone a little bit deep there, I think. You basically want to throw it at the Charlie Brown tree at the end of the fairway on hyzer. Unfortunately, not like Matt did.
Good kick out.
Great kick out. I think Adam's going to be able to do this pretty well. He is very proficient at the forehand. On hyzer.
That's early.
Oh, and you almost feel like you have to throw it early for how much hyzer you put it on.
I like the backhand here myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think this is, no matter how you throw it, it's just a tricky green to access. It looks like Tony's done a good job.
Filter.
Pushed a little deep, but that's I think that's the miss. If you're gonna miss, you put a little bit deep, and you got 60-footer or something like that. This is not where you want to be. This is just as tricky, well, for Matt at least, of an upshot as it was of a drive. Blake throwing his patented forehand that he loves to throw. And with that compact form that he uses, and not to say that compact can't create power, but he can throw a forehand 500 plus.
Really?
Yes. And so it really shows you that you don't have to have these epically wild movements to create power.
That was a birdie putt. He got inside the circle with his tee shot.
He went a little backdoor, and that's unfortunate that he could not capitalize. Great par save for Matt. 2 tricky shots, man. That's a scary way to play this hole.
Oh,
Blake tapping in, no problem. That's when we like to say there's no picture on the scorecard.
But
Wow. And Adam with a very nice putt. Adam not looking to be having too much fun right now. I know how it is when you're not playing as best as you know you can, but you just got to give it time. Blake's still got a 3-stroke lead over Matt. Here's another. Is this a par 4 this year or par 5?
I think they played as a par 4.
And what used to be a par 5 is a par 4. I think that was a good change. This upshot or this tee shot, we're looking to get a little bit left. You got to get far enough to get down there. You don't want to be pinched off on the right because you're going to have to throw a shot that goes about 300 feet and then finishes almost at like a 45 or 90 degree angle to the right.
That's a great tee shot. Right?
That is way up there.
And I definitely learned something this year playing it, that hugging the inside right of the corner gets you better position in the fairway around the corner.
Absolutely. And even though I said you want to get left, hugging the inside right gets you a little left.
Yes, it does.
Because if not, you end up going where Matt is here, which is too straight.
Yes.
And very easy to do that. And
watch his foot. Let's watch his foot placement.
Yeah,
The basket is.
It's almost over his right shoulder.
It's over
right
his
now.
right shoulder. And that was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, and that's a really difficult, like, to throw the shot, you almost want to look at everybody and say, hey guys, I'm about to do this, just so you know. But if you know what you're doing.
Forehand roller.
Tony's up to 1 hole forehand roller for this round. Looking to compete with Adam maybe one day. And I think we're going to see another forehand roller.
Cut forehand roller. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
no,
never
that
mind.
looked like a cut forehand roller.
I think he had it on his mind. That was a beautiful shot. Very technical through the trees.
Just outside the circle.
And I think this is a fair par 4, being that he threw a perfect shot and he threw a pretty good upshot, and he's got to look at the birdie. It's a difficult par 4 now,
Yes.
rather than such an easy par 5. Blake floating his forehand up there, no problem. Let's see if Tony can make it through all the foliage.
Or the foliage.
Foliage. It's southern to take a lot of letters
Hell yeah,
and put them
baby.
together.
Good
And who cares about letters?
Wow.
All we like is birdies on this course, and that was amazing.
That might have been outside circle too.
That was at least 50 to 65 feet. We'll have to count his steps. That's about 70
I'm saying it's
feet.
70. That's,
Yeah.
that's a throw-in. That's a throw-in. That's not a putt.
Yeah, that's outside circle 2. Excellent job. Here's Adam for an awesome look at birdie. Unfortunately,
He is
not
not
enough
happy.
short. Yeah, having a tough round. Hard to have such a hard round after such good golf the whole weekend, but it's just the way it goes.
I think he's only even par for the round.
Oh, watch out. See Adam Durham on the basketball courts.
He walked. Like all NBA players.
Yes. and Blake's kind of cruising it in here. And Matt's going to have to step his game up. And really what we're going to have to see is Blake step his game down, because he's got his foot on the gas and he's not really letting up. Tony with a beautiful shot.
Probably the second easiest hole on the course.
Yeah, I mean, 248 feet isn't all that much. It's just one initial gap to really hit off the tee, and you're cruising down there. This hole I always thought was...
Wow.
It looks longer than it is. It looks like it's 300, but it plays like it's 200. So I think a lot of guys end up throwing mid-range here, like Matt has, and that even might have the potential to go deep. I think putter's a great shot on this hole if you got
I
it.
definitely throw a putter here.
Here's one of Adam's specialties. He loves to just pipe a zone down the middle, nice and flat, nice and straight. That gets most of the way down there.
He's got one of those putts that he hasn't really hit.
Yeah, kind of circles edge here. If he can just go ahead and spin this thing into the basket.
There you
That's
go.
the Adam Durham I'm used to seeing.
This basket likes to spit out putts too.
Oh, I think we're making a realization about all these baskets out here.
They're just so old, man.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. Technology gets better, and old chains rust.
Great from the knee.
And there's the gas pedal. You know, he's not going to let the door open up. And that's a decision he's making, and he's put it into fruition. It's awesome to see that.
See that basket's even got a little bit of a gangster lean to it.
Tony cleans up the tester there. Always a tester whenever you miss that birdie and you give yourself a longer putt than you had for birdie. And it's looking pretty good for Blake here. All he needs to do is get through this hole. Looking to throw maybe a 340-foot shot off the tee to get a really easy upshot. Don't want to be right. Don't want to be too far left, but not horrible to finish right where he's finishing, in the middle.
First time I hadn't hit that
That's
tree on
another
the
hole.
hole.
It's a short par 4. I throw a mid-range off the tee just to try and make it finish in the middle and not get the big high drop into the left.
Yeah, see, for us younger guys, we have gotten frustrated enough through the whole course that this is a time you can open up your arm a little bit and make a really awesome drive or a mistake. So I'll say I did both, and I think Adam's looking to unload here a little bit. Keep it on hyzer, let it flip up, bit high, bit right.
It's coming back to the middle.
Yeah.
It clips the branches.
Yep, and so I think this is one of those holes that Schweber's got. Hit the nail on the head. Mid-range is all you need. And there's a lot of holes on these courses, not just here, where you can go mid-range off the tee and then drive right into the green. and save yourself the harder tee shot, and risk the biscuit on your upshot.
Because the position in the fairway is way more valuable than the distance off the tee.
Yeah, and if you're gonna have to, and it opens up as you get further down this hole. That first initial gap is much tighter and more technical than the second gap that you're probably throwing through here.
Wow, that was a really overstable disc.
Yeah.
He had a lot of analyzer on that.
Wow.
And completely faded out.
That was amazing. I think that's Matt. Can't hardly tell. He's here 2 feet off the fairway. No, he's a good 15 feet off the fairway, probably. Throwing a tomahawk. North Carolina special. Getting maybe in circle 2. And this is an excellent drive from Blake. This is what you'd like to see as a pro. You get up there for almost a jump putt for your upshot, which is almost a guaranteed birdie.
That was a jump putt on his upshot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Not
what
almost.
you're. It's got me. And that's what you want.
Hey, and
Matt
how about
here.
shout out to Matt Thompson and
no.
Evan Smith out on tour together. Played
Yes.
the Minnesota Majestic. Evan got second. He was in the lead with like 9 holes to play at the Minnesota Majestic over in
Yes.
Barsby, and ended up getting second because Greg shot lights out. And I think Matt still finished like 15th. Got him a good cash spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Matt might have even finished top 10. I'll have to go back and look. But I mean, those two guys that are, once especially they settle in, it looks like Evan's already settled in.
Yeah.
They're going to do amazing in disc golf. They're going to do great things. Yeah, we're finishing up here, hole 18. This is a very tricky green to access as well. You want to push that left side dead straight from where we're looking now, all the green out there, and then have it breaking late right, maybe even 300 feet out of your hand, turning right.
Correct. Yeah.
And Blake's forehand's a
Oh,
little
that
early.
is really
If
bad.
there ever was a door to open, it's now. It might take an ace and a triple bogey, but Tony, being left-handed, has got a massive advantage here. He's going to be able to flip a disc up and get it to go straight and
Just like
finish
that.
right. Yes.
That's a great shot.
And he's looking at maybe 20 feet or less from there. That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, because Blake is not sitting far. He just ended up.
That would be extremely impressive. Matt's doing what I like to do, is throw a backhand.
That's got to be a mid-range.
That, I believe, is a mid-range, and he's put himself in the position to make a birdie here.
Yeah,
I
make
don't
Blake
know.
think a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's see what Adam can do. This is such a long forehand.
380 feet, and it's
You have to make it move so far straight while it's flipping up, and then
Yeah,
fade so far.
and you have to throw a flip up
Yeah.
with a side arm. You can't throw a flex shot.
Wow. Wow.
That's a great shot.
That shows you the type of power that Adam Durham has in his forehand and even in his backhand. And
Wow,
some
that's
type
a
of
goal.
overhand. Oh, well, that's more like forehand roller.
Wow, that was a great out.
Yeah, and he kind of put himself over in the trees straight ahead from the tee box, but
Was that Blake?
that is Blake again getting
Okay,
out
saving his
of,
bogey. There you
Yep. And that's going to kind of shut the door for Matt here. Matt finished strong.
go.
as
It's a
usual.
great birdie to finish. Such a good birdie. Just a birdie putt too. Yeah, it's another birdie. Two
Kind
birdies.
of, yeah. I mean, we're
This
setting
could
up.
be, this could be 3 birdies. 'cause
three
he's
birdies.
parked.
Yeah, that's just unheard of on hole
That on
18.
that's amazing. Great finish.
And Blake here, he had the gas pedal on all day. He had it figured out for most of the day. His putting was almost perfect. His drives were where they needed to be. It doesn't take a fancy round out here to shoot well. It's just you have to be clean and on point.
Look at that beautiful payout for a nice beat here in eastern North Carolina.
Yeah, $1,000.
Yep.
That is so awesome. That was an amazing time. I'm glad that we got to watch this together, see a lot of the North Carolina guys, the up-and-coming guys that are, young 20-year-olds that are playing this course almost better than anybody that has ever played the course.
And Blake shot, what did she finish at? 25 under?
25 under
I think I shot 21 for this weekend. And, so yeah, he got me by 4, and I was pretty happy with my play.
Yes. I mean, anywhere averaging 7 to 10 under per round is excellent. Would have loved to play better. Would have loved to have been able to be on the card, but it sure is nice not to talk about myself for a while. Come and watch it. all my friends, and Tony, who I haven't met yet in person, but I'm sure I'd love to get around him with him when he's back in North Carolina again. But yeah, looking forward to coming back to the beach, coming and hanging out. There's always good beer, great food, nice people, and a wonderful disc golf course. Castle Hayne.
It is awesome. Yeah, it's good to the beach. I'm heading to Nag's Head on Saturday. Got a place right on the beach for a week. My first vacation since my honeymoon 17 years ago.
Well, that's exciting and well deserved after almost 400 PDGA wins. I think it's time for you to take a weekend off and enjoy the beach.
All right, here with Blake after the final round. You took it down, man. Tell us a little bit about that final round.
Yeah, I knew with the guys that we had on the card chase me down, guys on the chase card, I have to come and really bring it, limit the mistakes and give myself as many stress-free opportunities on this course as I could. So luckily I was able to do that.
So pretty challenging technical course. What kind of mid-ranges were you throwing out there?
MD4 today was the go-to, throwing MD5s for upshots and forehands. So
you like the Discmania stuff then?
Yeah, throw a lot of Discmania stuff. Just kind of turned into that. Didn't really do it on purpose, but yeah.
So am I right? Do you have a PD2 you threw out here?
Yeah, throwing a PD2, some off the tee. Couple shots that got a little squirrely on me today, but yeah, I go a lot with PD2s, DD3s off the tee for longer distance forehands.
Yeah, those things are super stable. You don't mind going in these tight fairways with it?
Yeah, a lot of the shorter ones and the tighter ones I was throwing at FD3. So try to keep it a little slower, but there was a couple I threw the PD2, and it's just so overstable and you can pound on it and trust it.
So Castle Hayne, this is the big 20-year. Had you played in the past?
Yeah, I actually won last year, so it was real cool to come and repeat. A lot of guys that win this tournament repeat, so it's cool to put my name on that list of back-to-back champions.
Well, congratulations. So you're a local guy down east, right?
Yeah, from Goldsboro originally. Live in Greenville now, so West Meadowbrook is my home course. Shout out to Greenville Disc Golf Club. Those guys are great.
Sweet, yeah, that's awesome. So you noticed a few changes they had out here. They tweaked a few holes. What'd you think of the different layout there?
Yeah, I liked it. The one on 13, the one that goes to the left instead of to the right, I think that's a good hole. Played pretty much all the other ones in the years past. I think the one on 5 was new. I like that hole. It's a fair shot. Very technical. So
what are you putting with? You got like a P2 or?
Yeah, putting with the P2s. Yep, the new Flex 2s.
Is that like a grippier plastic or?
Yeah, they're a little grippier. It kind of feels like the old school X-Line plastic. Nice and stable. You can really put some pop on them and they handle the torque.
So now that Discmania has kind of switched to the European manufacturer, like you tried out any of those newer discs?
Yeah, thrown a few of them. Haven't made it into the bag yet. I'm kind of comfortable with my setup, the stuff I've been throwing for a year or two, but they'll probably cycle in throughout the year at some point.
Any molds or models that jump out to you? You think I want to maybe try this one out?
Yeah, so the P3X, they're hard to get, the old ones. That's my go-to throwing putter, forehand and backhand. That's my favorite disc in their lineup. As far as the new stuff, MD3s and FDs, I threw a good amount of FDs out here today too. Those are really good discs.
So I see you got your Eastern Disc Golf shirt on there.
Yeah.
You like playing Jay's tournaments there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been playing Ecos. That's actually where I started playing PGA events. Was at Ecos. That was my first PGA event ever. Jay's a great guy. Looks out for the guys in Eastern NC and does a lot for the sport around here.
You did it today. You came out, kept the lead, and took it down. Congratulations to you, and yeah, keep it going. What you got coming up?
Next weekend, I'm actually playing with Adam in the North Carolina State Doubles Championship. So.
Oh, sweet. Hey, yeah, tell us a little bit about doubles. How's that changed up the game? Like, how does it feel having a partner out there?
Doubles is super fun. I actually won the 2019 USDGC AM doubles with Blake Montaigne. So doubles has always kind of been a thing that I've done, throughout disc golf. That's how I got started playing with leagues and stuff like that, was through the local doubles. It's a different game for sure. You can go off your partner, and if they're hot, you can be more aggressive at times, and it's just a fun atmosphere, fun to have a teammate.
All right, let's say you're outside the 30-footer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who goes first? You guys take turns, or?
In the past, we've kind of like whoever throws the shot will normally putt it. That way they can get their birdie if they want. Sometimes we've done in the past, like alternate who putts first. That way people are still kind of getting putts in for sure. You know, that way one person isn't just, if they're hot, the other person doesn't get the putt. So a little bit of strategy involved for sure.
Now, are there any other big doubles tournaments you like to play?
Not since I've turned pro. Kind of, this is the only one I've really played in, I think. This kind of big and like a sanctioned one. It's over at Rocky Ford in Kittrell, North Carolina. Cool private course out there.
So when did you decide to go pro then?
So I was actually trying to stay AM. I denied a good amount of cash trying to go to AM Worlds, and that happened to be the year COVID kind of outbroke, so I didn't end up getting to go. So I think I turned pro in it was like 2018 or 2019.
Well, congrats, big win. Yeah, how's it feel? A big 20, finish it off.
Yeah, feels great. Happy because I beat my score from last year. That was one thing I kind of wanted to do, one of my personal goals. But this is a great tournament. You know, it's one of the longest tournaments that's been held in North Carolina. So to be able to win it twice in a row is really cool. It's a good feeling.
20th Azalea Tournament. Thanks for making it through. For everyone that did make it through. I'm going to start with MP60. Taking down MP60 was Ed Garris.
That hip's about to give out, isn't it?
Everything's about to give out. What are you talking about? Thanks, everybody. Enjoyed it. The course was great. I got to do one little hole 6. Got a 3 all 3 rounds. Come on.
Taking down MP50 is Randy Lockhart.
Tennessee Tornado.
Thank you. Guys, like I said, I'm from Tennessee. You guys don't know what beautiful course you have here. Don't take it for granted. Awesome course. I'll be back next year.
Yeah. Taking down MP40, Mr. Schweberger.
Throw in a baby. Woo!
And winning the FPO is Elaine King.
You all are an awesome bunch of people. I really appreciate you all.
Here you are, Elaine. Thank you. And winning MPO, once again, Mr. Blake Poland.
Thanks to everyone in the club out here that helped make this course look the way it looked this weekend. Great conditions. Thanks to Eastern Disc Golf.
There you go. Thanks for coming and playing. We have a special presentation to make to our newest New Hanover Club Disc Golf Hall of Fame. I don't know if you guys know this guy, but he's why you're here. One of the people responsible. Come on up here, Scott. Over here.
I can't see. I really can't, because this is a shot. Thank you.
Thanks again for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.